Hey there, welcome back to this week's episode of Finance Fridays. I'm your host, Lucas Ballahood of the Ballahood Group, and with Coldwell Banker Armagh Real Estate. Alexandra Job with RBC couldn't be with us today. She had some other commitments to take care of. But what I wanted to talk about on this week's discussion are the top 5 concerns of home buyers in Durham Region today. We're doing a little bit of research and polling amongst our clients, and these were the overall themes that we picked up from them. And we decided to share some of the solutions that we foresee being able to sort of overcome some of these concerns of homeowners today. Now we are halfway through the summer. It is just past the 1st of August, and obviously it's been a hot one out there, but we've seen some pretty significant changes in the real estate market, dating back to June 7th when the Bank of Canada continued to raise interest rates, and they followed that up with one on July 12th as well. Now, to start with the first one here, to give interest rates, like the cheapest rate I can find right now with some of our lending partners for on a 5-year fixed is like a 5.29%. I'm sure Alex would talk about this if she were here, but it looks like RBC at the moment is somewhere in the 6% range for something of a similar term there. So obviously affordability is a concern when you're talking about interest rates and can someone afford to buy a home when prices have been where they have for the last 24 months. In June, our average sale price was, a hair under $1 million. And I believe we're heading towards probably about a 3% drop in the average sale price in July. Those numbers haven't come out officially yet, but from what we've been tracking, it looks like that's going to be the case. So we've seen fewer sales again and an increase in listings. And that added supply is going to affect our real estate market here. Now, the second concern among buyers is the competition. We've been conditioned over the last 2 to 3 years to expect that there's going to be a lot of people bidding for a particular house that you're interested in, and it's going to be challenging to secure that property. When we were in that multiple offer environment, it was really the highest and cleanest offer that was being successful. But now we're actually starting to see more conditional sales in place, which is a positive sign if you're a buyer right now. It gives you the opportunity to do the proper due diligence on the property. And that is our third concern here, is the property's condition and being able to do an inspection on the property. No one wants to walk into a situation in their new home, get ready to move in, and they find out that there's some sort of significant deficiency, maybe a leak in the roof, or something with the foundation, or there's something wrong with something mechanically in the house. And then after the property is closed, you've purchased that house. That issue is now yours. So you want to be able to uncover those things heading into it. And maybe you can get a cost adjustment, a price adjustment, as a result of those deficiencies if if the seller isn't willing to remedy them, depending on what it is. So that's a positive sign right now with some of the changes we've seen in the market, because there's fewer buyers out there. There is a little less competition, and sellers are starting to realize this and be willing to accept a conditional offer. The fourth concern here was just around sort of lifestyle related things, talking about commute and transportation. A lot of people have jobs in the city in Toronto. We're about 30, 40 minutes outside of the city, depending on the route you go. And that's a concern for people when you're talking about home affordability and can I still get to work in a reasonable time that I'm not, let's say, wasting 10 hours every week in the car getting back and forth to work. But the Durham region has extended the 407 further east. So those residents in Durham region or in east of Durham, Bowmanville, Curtis, Newcastle, those areas out that way have a better, commute into work and have access to those roads to get into the city a little bit quicker. They're also adding GO train stops in Bowmanville and Curtis, and I believe they're adding another one in Oshawa as well. So that's going to help folks in the east end of Durham region, save some time in their commute. And for everyone else that's using the GO train, but whether it be in Oshawa or Whitby, and in Pickering and Ajax, are able to secure a parking spot or get dropped off and jump on the train and not just be crammed in there as a crazy rush, like cattle being sort of shuttled onto the train kind of thing. So, that's a positive for people that they don't have such a long commute as those train stations, are completed and up and running. The last thing here, quality of schools. Heck, I'm a parent. I imagine, and I've got one going to school for the first time in September. It's definitely an important question. People want to understand, where's my kid going to go to school? What's the quality of the school in the area? What are the teachers like? What's the school's reputation? What are how do they kind of score in those in their ratings as they do, trying to compare one school to the next. And in Durham Region, we've got 3 school boards that look to take care of the residents and their children. Durham District School Board being one, the Durham Catholic School Board is another. And in the further east, we're talking a lot about that sort of Curtis Bowmanville area today, is the Kawartha Pine Ridge District School Board as well. So that's where you can, jump online, take a look, punch in your postal code, and find out what school is in your zone, and get a little bit more information about that particular institution. But that is certainly something that is important to people, and it should be, as we look forward to taking care of and educating our next generation here. And just a bit of a bonus item here is we sort of think about what's going on in Durham Region, and we've talked a little bit about this in the past, is the future development and infrastructure in our community. A lot of Durham Region is based along the 401 corridor, and there's a lot of environmentally protected land further to the north along the Oak Ridge Moraine as well. So there's a lot of rezoning going on in that undeveloped area, that undeveloped green space in North Oshawa, North Whitby, for example, right on that border. They've rezoned a lot of that land for not only businesses, but residential use as well. For those who are familiar, the new Amazon building is being constructed on Conlin Road at just east of Thixton Road, if I'm not mistaken. So there's lots of work going on in Durham, lots of investment happening in our communities, and that's what's made it such a popular area for people to come to, and that's likely going to continue into the future here as families grow and more people enter the country. So. With that, those are our top 5 concerns of home buyers in Durham Region today. If you've got any questions about your home's value, you're thinking about making a move, or you have some concerns about an upcoming mortgage renewal, certainly valid ones to have, and I'd welcome you and encourage you to give us a call, and we can walk you through your options. So with that, again, thank you so much for taking some time to watch this video with me today. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your week, and you'll find our contact information at the end here if there are any other questions, and we'll be with you again soon. Bye for now.